Go on. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
How do you feel about people that are LGBT?
I'm fine with them. Really, as long as they're in love with each other and as long as they're human, I think it's fine. The people that hate that are really jerks.
Secondly, do you think that those kind of people should have the same kind of rights?
What?
Let me start over. How do you feel about people that are LGBT?
I'm fine with them. As long as they love each other and as long as they work together, I'm fine with them.
Do you think that they should have the same rights?
Yes.
Should they be allowed to have a family, in your opinion?
Yes.
Do you think that it's against your or another person's religion?
I think it's against our religion, but it doesn't matter.
Do you think it's right that some parents abuse their children because of their sexuality?
No. Oh, I don't think it's right because it's not their fault they were created that way.
Do you think kids in school should bully teens about how they are?
Yes. Because they
Do you think kids in school should bully teens about how they are?
no. Because it's not right and it's not what they it's all about what they believe in. It's not about other people.
How do you think if you knew about an LGBT and you have knowledge of them, how do you think you should deal with knowing about it?
Like a regular person, like somebody that you're talking to you regularly.
Why do you think the government didn't give them rights in the early 21st century?
Because I think that they did because they don't care what people think. They only want what they want and they want it when they want it.
Why do you think heterosexual people, straight people, like teen-wise, are bullied for like other LGBT people?
Because, like I said, they don't really care about anybody. They want their lives to be perfect and everybody around them to be the same.
And lastly, in your overall opinion, what do you have to say to anyone who is against or for the LGBT society?
For the people, I say good job, keep it up, and hopefully it actually works out. And for the people that don't believe in that, I believe that they're not wanting anything to be in peace.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a few questions to ask today. How do you feel about LGBT people?
I don't really have any feelings about that, honestly.
You don't like at all. You don't feel like they
I-
should be together or they shouldn't.
I think they should be if they want to. I mean,
Okay, that's what we're exactly asking.
okay.
Do you think that they should have the same rights as us, straight people?
That's logic. Dog.
Yeah. There's some people out there that don't agree with you.
Yeah, I know.
Should they be allowed to have a family, in your opinion?
Depends on how you're looking at it. I mean, like, if you need some population growth, then probably not. But,
Like from
obviously there's
adoption side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's kids who aren't going to have, like, families, and
Yeah.
they're the best way to give it to them.
Do you think it goes against your or other people's religion?
If you take your scriptures seriously, which you probably shouldn't.
Do you think it's right that some parents abuse their children because of their sexuality?
Anyone who does that is a monster. Like what drives you to like abuse your child? Like, you're different. I'm gonna spank that booty. All right. You're so scared.
Do you think kids in school should bully teens about this?
Yes, I do.
You think it's right? That
I don't think it's right, but I think they should.
Why?
I don't know. Because I don't know. honestly, but I feel like that's the way it should be.
Do you think that they should? You absolutely think they should.
I don't think that they should, but I want them to.
Why?
I don't know. I have no sympathy. Maybe that's slightly funny for me. Maybe I get a nice kick out of it. And I'm like, haha.
Okay.
Fine.
Next question. How do you think you should deal with having knowledge about LGBT people?
Like, should you be an activist for them? That's your choice if you have the time
knowing
to-
that there's some lesbians, gays,
Yeah.
bisexual, transgender, do you think that you can deal with them and other people should deal with them, or do you think that they should just be pushed away?
Oh, like pushed away, like you should help
Out of the
them or
society.
somehow. Like push them outside. What? No. Oh, you're not worthy of our society.
So you think that they should be pushed out, or no?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that.
Okay. Why do you think the government didn't give them rights in the early 21st century?
Like, why didn't they?
Why didn't they give them any rights as straight people?
Well, I mean, like, why didn't they give women the right to vote immediately? Because, I mean, there's deep-rooted ideas that, like, that takes a while to overturn, which it has, thankfully, now. So.
Why do you think heterosexual teens, straight people like us, are bully LGBT teens in school? Why do you think they do that?
Due to their parents' ideas. I mean, like, you know, like, their parents may still think that, like, have a near hatred for someone who is, like, homosexual or transgender, or maybe they don't understand it, and then that pushes over onto their children, and that affects how they will act in school towards those groups, not just gay people.
And this last question is, in your overall opinion, what do you have to say to anyone who's against or for the LGBT society?
That's very broad. If you're against it, what are you against? I feel like you should ask that question. Like, why are you against it? And if you're supporting them, ask the same question, I guess. I mean, what are your feelings about this issue entirely? Like, just sit down, like, have a smoothie, and think about it. Yeah.
Great, thank you for answering these questions for us.
Okay, cool. I think that was 2.
Hi Riley, today we're going to ask you 10 questions about LGBT rights. First question is, how do you feel about LGBT people?
I feel that they're people too, and that they deserve the same rights as heterosexual people.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Do you think they should have the same rights as heterosexual people?
I do, because I believe that they're made of the same. If you look inside, like, everybody's the same on the inside. Everybody has the same everything about them.
Third question, should they be allowed to have a family, in your opinion? Like a big family or a small family, just like straight people?
I think they do deserve to have a family, because sometimes they can't help their sexuality, and if they want a family, then so be it. Like, adoption is the only way that they can get a family, so if they want a family, they should be allowed to have one.
Fourth question, do you think it's against your or other people's religion?
I don't think it's against my religion. I'm not really a huge religious person, so I wouldn't really 100% know about my own religion, but other people's religion, sometimes people would take it as it offends their religion, but I don't think it offends mine. I don't know about others.
Okay. Do you think it's right that parents abuse their children because of their sexuality?
No, I don't think it's right. Because if it's already probably hard enough for them to go ahead and tell their parents about their sexuality, that getting ridiculed for it is not going to help anything by their own parents.
Do you think kids in schools should bully other teens about it?
Absolutely not, because they don't know, first of all, heterosexual children and teenagers probably don't know what it feels like to be teased and ridiculed for their sexuality, because heterosexual is the norm, and being outside of the norm is probably really hard for homosexual and others like that,
Okay.
without the added stress of bullies.
Seventh question. How do you think you should deal with having the knowledge about LGBT people?
I don't know. This is a hard question.
Like, do you need some explaining
Yeah.
to the question? How do you feel like when... Let's see. Okay. If there's one person that, let's say I had a best friend that was a sexuality, do you think you'd push them away, or do you think you'll be there for them?
I'd be there for them, honestly.
You wouldn't change?
I wouldn't change the way I thought about them.
Eighth question. Why do you think the government didn't give them any rights in the early 21st century?
Because they were afraid of how others would act, because once again, heterosexual people are the norm, and allowing something to be outside of the norm would get a bunch of, like, I don't know the word for it, probably like controversy, and people would get probably mad about it, but then there would be other people that would support it, and I think they were just too afraid to.
Okay. Why do you think heterosexual teens bully other LGBT teens in school? Why do you think that there's so many kids in this world that bully them and tease them?
Going back to the norm thing, probably because they're out of the norm. Kids would find anything to tease you about. And so when they find that out, they just think, oh, that's another thing, that's another out of the norm thing, or what they would call a flaw. I don't call it a flaw. But that's another out of the norm thing for them to tease others about.
Okay, and last question. In your overall opinion, what do you have to say to anyone who's against or for the LGBT society? And what I mean by that is, what do you have to say to anyone that is against and for these teens?
So people that are neutral?
Yes. Not neutral exactly, but what do you have to say to people that are against it? And then another thing saying, what do you want to say to the people that are for it?
Well, people that are against it, it's probably for a reason, but no matter what reason, there's still people, like, it's still a person, and sometimes they can't help their sexuality. Well, most of the time they can't help their sexuality. Like, they're attracted to the same gender, or they're attracted to no gender, or even with transgenders, they can't really control it. If they feel they were born in the wrong body and they feel more masculine or they feel more feminine, that's not really their fault. And it's really, honestly, it's sad that they get ridiculed for that, but it does happen. And then people who are for it, just continue to be for it. Continue to be supportive of it. I mean, there's nothing really to say to people that are for it.
Well, thank you, Riley, for letting me interview you. It's good to know that there are some people on that side and against it. But thank you anyway.